good, man. Wow.
I spent 4 days in the historic and world-renowned city of Lisbon, Portugal, a city and country that is hands down one of the best destinations for some of the finest food you can find in Europe and arguably on the planet. In this video, I'm going to be sharing with you the top places we ate at, featuring some of the finest Portuguese cuisines we had during our stay in this vibrant and culturally rich city that I believe everyone should visit at least once in their life. Let's get started.
Alright, so our first official meal here in Lisbon, Portugal is going to be at a restaurant called Duque. I believe that's how you pronounce it. It's actually popular for some of the seafood, and Portugal itself is renowned for having some of the best seafood on the planet. I think we came at a pretty good time because as we've been waiting, more and more people are queued up. I don't think a lot of people have reservations like us as well, so we're probably at the front of the pack. So hopefully we get our seats soon. So apparently this restaurant spans across this entire building. When we first walked up to try to put our name in without reservations, we thought it was a tiny little space just in that first establishment on the block. But they actually took us up this alley and there's more dining tables inside, and there's actually a dedicated bar as well. So it's pretty cool.
We started off our dining experience at Duque with an order of clams drenched in a garlic and coriander sauce, along with a side of fresh tuna salad.
Oh, so the first starter they brought us is the fresh tuna salad, and that's tuna. The color of it is like slightly charred. It actually looks like a slice of Spam. That tuna is so clean. It like kind of just shreds apart and falls apart in your mouth. Good. Doesn't taste fishy at all. Good. Very meaty. Wow. I wish they didn't put as much dressing on it because I want to just taste the fish, but I think it blends together very nicely. Wow. Good. So fresh, like so tender. And it's like marinated in a coriander and garlic sauce, so it's very simple, and you add some of that lemon to it, it just gives it a little bit of a tart flavor. Good. Very good combination. Yeah. Okay, so that's the oven roasted octopus. So literally it's a big leg or two of the octopus tentacle. And then what we have here is the Iberian pork cheek. Then what we order here is the grilled sea bass and 2 giant tiger prawns with some rice. So everything looks very tasty. We're gonna do this family style, so yeah, let's dig right in. This giant tiger prawn, wow. Haven't had this since we last went to Thailand. See if I can get this whole piece out in one chunk. That should kind of like, oh yeah, it's coming right off, okay. Now you never know with these giant tiger prawns because it's such a big shrimp. Like sometimes the meat can be very tough, but they prepared it well and it's fresh, it should be very good. Wow, better than lobster. I'm not a huge fan of lobster, but so good. Savory, you can taste the natural sweetness of that shrimp. Very tasty. Wow. All right, gonna try some of this mango rice here that's paired with the giant prawns. It's like sweet. The rice is very subtle, but the mango gives it a sweet tart flavor. Very nice. So good.
The grilled octopus paired with a side of sweet potatoes was exquisite, combining both subtly sweet and savory flavors. The highlight in this dish was how these giant tentacle chunks were so tender and easy to chew. The Iberian pork cheek was served with a side of coriander rice, and the pork is slowly cooked to tender perfection. The flavor of the pork was both savory and garlicky and was absolutely delicious.
We're gonna dig into the last but not least, this fresh grilled sea bass. Doesn't look like that big of a fish, but the meat is very flaky and tender. All right, just gonna try the fish by itself first. So they just marinate the outer layer with a little bit of salt. You can taste the fish. There's not a whole lot of seasoning, but it's very sweet. Good. A little bit of smoky flavor as well from the grill. Nice. Very plain and simple. Very clean dish. Very healthy dish. Wow. All right, so that was our first dinner here in Lisbon, Portugal. I would say that that is some of the cleanest seafood I've had out here. I mean, I've had some great seafood in Portugal as well, but that was actually very comparable, very good. For the price we paid, for some of the quality and the quantity that they provide as well, I think it's a very good deal. And then they were very generous with the glass of wine. Inside the setting is a very cozy environment. You walk right in, it's got some interesting memorabilia. The toilet itself is covered with cassette tapes. And there's like a whole bunch of sardine cans kind of lining the wall. And so it's definitely a great place to come check out. I'd highly recommend it, at least from my experience.
This next spot on my list was my personal favorite, located just a couple of blocks from our place of stay in the heart of the Baixa district.
So we are back in Augusta Street, and around the corner from where we're staying, there's a place called Merindinha do Arco, and we're just here for some clams and some sardinas and some fine white wine to pair with the seafood. And we ordered one glass, but they actually gave enough in one glass for two. We thought it was going to be much smaller portions, but we just ordered the sardines. Then you can see it comes in a giant plate of clams. They give you rice to pair with it. The sardinas come with some baked potatoes, and like the salad in itself is like a meal, big portion of salad that they serve with it. So it's really good. Duque just did the honors and took that meat right off, and does very little bone, so I'm just trying to get the whole thing. Very fresh, lightly salted. You just taste the natural flavor of that fish. Good. All right, so we're gonna go for some of the clams in a garlic and olive oil sauce. Grab a spoonful of these to my plate. Yeah, make sure to get some of that sauce. I got like 3 clams right here. No lemon juice yet, just the garlic and olive oil sauce. Very savory, like flavorful, not bland at all. Very flavorful. Yeah, you can taste the garlic. Very fresh. So we squeezed some of the lemon juice. It was so good without it already, but I think with the lemon juice, it's gonna give it extra level of a kick. Yeah, better with the lemon juice. I mean, it's really good without it, but like, if you like a little bit of tartness, make sure you get that lemon juice on there. Good. And then they also serve it with a side of like garlic rice. Consistency of like a rice pilaf. You can taste every individual kernel of rice, and it's got like a strong garlic savory flavor. So if you eat it with the clams, it's like a perfect pairing. So the sardines, like I said, comes with some baked potato, and it's kind of tasteless in by itself. So what we've been doing is taking big chunks of these potatoes and just swirling it into the sauce of that clam. It has the lemon juice, the garlic, and olive oil, and it gives it a whole nother level of flavor. And these baked potatoes are super mushy. So good, man. Wow. That's like one of the highlights right there. Taking that baked potato, dipping it into the sauce of those clams. So good. So good. Wow. So they hook you up with some ginjana, which is that cherry liquor that we had at the other place. You're not supposed to shoot this, so you just sip it. Wow, that one's good. They said this is homemade. It's actually not from any shop. It's homemade. So that was probably one of the most amazing meals we've had here in Portugal. I know it's in a very touristy area, but like we've tried a lot of foods across various neighborhoods during our trip. And I would say that the sardinas and the clams here were definitely one of the highlights. The folks are very friendly as well, very generous with the wine, and they hook you up with that ginjana at the very end, which is nice as well. So if you're in the area and you're looking for some good seafood, I would definitely recommend coming here. Get the sardina, the grilled sardinas, and the clam and the garlic sauce. Obviously, there's other stuff you can order as well, but definitely try those out.
One of the more unique experiences we enjoyed during our dining adventures was being able to see a Fado show. There are many Casa de Fado scattered throughout the city, but we visited a location called Corrido located in Alfama, which is one of the oldest neighborhoods in Lisbon, characterized by plenty of steep streets and medieval structures. Making reservations in advance to any Fado establishment is an absolute must. For approximately 52 euros per person, the experience included a set meal that provided each person with a starter, one main dish, and one dessert of choice from the menu. For starters, we sampled a pickled soup consisting of roasted Iberian chorizo, which was very clean and subtle in taste, and to make sure we got our daily fiber intake, we also ordered the caramelized butternut squash salad topped with cottage cheese, honey, and walnuts. For our main courses, I ordered the pork cheeks in red wine that is served on a bed of mashed potatoes and a rich creamy sauce. The pork was super tender and the dish, while simple in portion, was absolutely fulfilling. Duque went with the boiled rice dish consisting of shrimp and a variety of shellfish. For dessert, we shared the cheesecake topped with a variety of fruits and the chocolate mousse with salted toffee. Everywhere we ate at during our visit to Lisbon did not disappoint at all, and the food here at Corrido was no exception. In between dishes, there are several Fado performances conducted by various musicians and vocalists. Although we didn't understand what was being sung by the vocalists, we were blown away and absolutely touched by the performances and would highly recommend anyone visiting Lisbon to try and experience a Fado show during their stay.
Alright, so we just made our way from Miradouro de Graça and we are hungry. We're gonna grab a bite in this local area. So we found this place called Altar, and so we're just gonna do some food family style. We ordered some sauteed garlic shrimp, Altar sardines, and then to share for the main courses, we ordered a baked oven duck leg and then some sirloin steak, medium rare, which we're just craving some good old meat. To pair that, for us, me and Duque, we ordered two beautiful, lovely looking sangrias that are topped with strawberries. It's refreshing, much needed. All right, so they just brought us our starters and we're gonna dig right in. So I'm sure there's no right or wrong way to eat this, but we're gonna put the peeled shrimp onto a slice of the bread here. Yeah, I guess you're supposed to eat it like, you can eat it individually, but with the bread, it's actually pretty good. That shrimp meat is very plump. You can taste the garlic, the lime juice or the lemon juice. It's sweet itself, right? The shrimp is very fresh. So we are going in for the fresh sardines. Yeah, you can see all the tiny little bones, and they instructed us to take all that out before we eat into it. Wow. Yeah, those small bones, totally edible. I mean, you can try by all means to try to pick it out, but you don't really feel it when you bite into it. And the sardines itself, what I like about it is it's just lightly breaded. I'm not sure what kind of batter that is, but it's like so light that you can still see the fish skin itself. It's not heavily drenched in a batter and deep fried. I guess for me, it tastes a little bit like mackerel fish, if you've never had that before. That is what a deboned sardine looks like, with all the meat off. We actually added another starter. So as we were eating the garlic shrimp, we like the bread here so much, we actually ordered what is called a bread in wood oven. And what it is just like a giant sourdough that's opened up and they stuff it with a bunch of melted cheese and chorizo. It looks like a clam chowder bowl you get from Bodine's, but like 100x that in terms of flavor and extravagantness. So let's try it out. So what we did, it was just ripped off the siding of that bread, that sourdough bread, covered it and topped it off with all that cheese and chorizo. You can see there's like 5 big chunks of chorizo in this little bite over here. That's very flavorful. Wow. Like chorizo, very strong flavor. It's good though, like very savory bread, very fresh. This bread in wood oven is like a meal in itself, or it could be, right? If you're not sharing. But yeah, I'm gonna go for another bite here. See that? Wow. Never had anything like this in the States. All right, so a little bit full, but they actually brought us our main dishes. The European dining culture is obviously you take your time, no need to feel rushed to get out. So our 2 main dishes are a sirloin steak, 250 grams. We asked for medium rare. They serve it with a over easy egg, garnished with some potatoes. Another main dish is the baked oven duck leg, which is also sitting on the top of mashed potatoes. Now, I'm generally not a huge fan of sirloin steak just because I'm a big fan of ribeye. I like the fat and the marbling, but this looks really good, especially with that sauce, that Portuguese style sauce. Cooked very well, medium rare. Go for the first bite.
Savory potato.
The sauce, a little bit tangy, savory and tangy. terms of the tenderness of the sirloin steak, it's what you expect. It's a sirloin steak, so you're not going to get all that fat like you would in a ribeye. But it's actually quite tender. That quality of the beef is really high. And here are those like golden potatoes. Yeah, they look very tender. I think the key for this one here is to get all that sauce. Yeah. So tender. I love golden potatoes. Not overly greedy, but more on the creamy side, but it has a little texture of chewiness. And that sauce really, it's like a perfect gravy. This is the last main dish, is that oven baked duck leg. You can see at the very bottom there's like a big bed of mashed potatoes, and they give you some shavings of green peas or something, or green beans. I just took some of that plump duck meat, just swirled it around that sauce.
You can't put them together to make a meal sometimes.
But meat is very tender, like I said, and that sauce, savory, sweet, more on the orangey side. Came right off. That's actually really good. Now I gotta go for some of these mashed potatoes and all that orange gravy. I think next time we try to make our own gravy for mashed potatoes in the States, gonna add like some citrus orange shavings to it or something.
The beautiful city of Lisbon, Portugal is a top travel destination for millions of people around the world. Although this video only covers our personal favorites for sit-down dining options that we tried during our trip, we only just scratched the surface, as there is an abundance of delicious, mouth-watering food of all types in just about every street, alley, and corner of this historic and vibrant city that I feel lucky and blessed to have been able to visit at least once in my life. If you enjoyed this video, please be sure to like and subscribe, and drop a comment on this video to continue following me on my food and travel adventures. Thank you so much for watching, and I look forward to seeing you again on my next video.